Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and X. And for the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. And that's just a sampling. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. For laptops, mobile phones, and tablets, download the Roku app. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
This show is brought to you by BetUS.com. 125% off your first 3 deposits, 30 years experience, secure site, wagering for all sports, including during the games and futures. SeatGeek provides you the best prices on sports and music events, game tickets, and concerts. Use NSS promo code to get $20 off your first ticket. Keep using the NSS promo code when purchasing tickets for great deals in the future. In Fanatics at nessp.info for your favorite teams, sportswear. Click on the link, and while you're there, check out our national streaming sports merchandise. Well, guys, we made it through the hump day, so here we are on a Wednesday. Welcome to the Professional Sports Show here, as I got, of course, myself as Mac, Bo Crouch. We also have the J-Train, James Martin, and the Reverend himself, Keith Angle, blesses us with his presence today as he's coming back from his vacation on the boat, and I'm hoping that we don't have no illness over there, Keith, that you're fine.
No illnesses. Those are airplane illnesses. I have not been sick the last 2 trips where we have bus to New York City Harbor. So
yes.
Airplanes. So I will blame airplanes.
I think you gave me something, Keith, when you came back. When we had that meeting outside the bar, I think I got something. But anyway, well, welcome everybody to the show. We already got people jumping in. Danny Fuller, Feather Freebird. So I'm glad you appreciate the music. So guys, I want to get going into the NFL because we have a lot of NFL news to get to. And starting off with Monday night, Kansas City beats the Bucs in overtime. Quick stats for you: Mahomes with 291 yards, 3 TDs. Kareem Hunt with 109 yards, 1 TD. Kelsey had 100 yards, and their new wide receiver Devontae Hopkins has 86 yards and 2 TDs. Baker played well. Tampa Bay played well. They were in the game, as you heard. It went to overtime. And there's a little criticism out there right now, and I can see both sides of it, guys. Right? I mean, it's the end of the game. You have a 2-point conversion that you could go for right then, and he chose to kick the field goal for the extra point. But I can see it either way. What I think he was really criticized for is what he said, that it was raining. That's why they didn't go for the 2-point conversion when they just drove down the field. 80 yards, 70 yards to get that touchdown, Bo. So, I mean, where do you fall on this side of it? Do you think it was a bad decision, or it was a decision?
I mean, in hindsight, sure, right? I mean, you lost the game, so of course you look back on it and be like, oh, what if we went for it? For me, it was the soundbite that I didn't love because he's like, oh yeah, the weather was bad, it was rainy. That would actually lead me more towards going for a 2-point conversion because I don't want to rely on a good hold of a wet football and a good plant foot in a field that we watch people fall down on. Right. So there's a lot of mechanics that go into a kick that I would have personally went for 2 there because of how sloppy the conditions were. But I mean, I can't hate on him for trying to get to overtime and see what they had there. They were largely able to stop KC from getting in the end zone. So, I mean, I get trusting your defense, but with how sloppy it was, how much success they just had on that drive, a defense that was kind of already being pushed back. I mean, you go for the win right then, especially with Mahomes always being good in overtime.
James, you're not in your head like you're agreeing with him, but let me give you something here, right? Of course, I'm a Giants fan, a very disgruntled Giants fan right now. They went for 2 points a lot of times in the last couple of games and failed. And as a defense, if even if you give up the touchdown, and I should say as an offense and a defense, the offense misses the 2 point conversion. And it kind of makes you feel like you lost. Even though you got the touchdown, they weren't able to get in the end zone. So it's sort of like a momentum killer to me where, even though you got the touchdown, they have the momentum going forward.
Yeah, for the most part, I agree with Bo in what he said in the beginning, not liking the soundbite. Yeah, but other than that, you give your team a chance to win by kicking the extra point, and you move forward into overtime. Because hindsight 2020, like you said, I mean, maybe you should have gone for it, but what if you get stopped, like you said? You get that, which is my thinking. You get stopped, and most people are going to pan you. They're going to shun you because you didn't go for the extra point, which is likely more successful, and give yourself a chance in overtime. I would have done what they said, but I like what Bo said. You got to say something better than that. Ultimately, you just say, we made a decision and we got to live with it. But I'm speaking hindsight 2020. I'm not standing in front of cameras and the whole national media. So.
Yeah, I mean, Keith, it would have been easy for him to come out and say, if he did go for the 2 point conversion, even if he missed it, and said I was playing aggressive away, and I wanted to win the game, and it would have been a lot easier than what he had to say not doing
it. No audio.
Well, I just froze him. Go ahead.
I did that.
You're still.
I had to sneeze earlier. I apologize. Matt got me sick, I guess, apparently when the show started. Yeah, if he goes for 2, to me, he's in a win-win situation. As you said, the answer is easy afterwards. I'm playing the defending champions 7-0 on the road. Momentum's on my side right then and there. I got them on the heels. I may never see the ball in overtime. That's the thing you got to remember when you're playing a team like Mahomes and a quarterback like Mahomes. You may never see the ball. I'd have gone for 2 every single time in that situation.
Yeah, and listen, Bowles has done a great job coaching that team this year. I mean, through the loss of the 2 big receivers, their defense is playing well. Baker is playing, to me, he's playing like a high-level quarterback right now, not having those wide receivers, and still they're challenging people. I mean, it doesn't count towards winning. Go ahead, Keith.
Bowles is not getting ripped after that game if he goes for 2 and doesn't get it. There's no way. His home media, nobody's ripping him for going for 2 there. I would not think.
You got to give credit also to that offensive coordinator. He's going to have a head coaching job after the
good job.
I mean, you do the Bruce Arians, right? No risk it, no biscuit. Let's go.
Right. So
come on, we know who was calling the plays there. Let's stop for a second.
So yeah, I mean, look, a real good game, which I enjoy watching real good games anyway. So I mean, they both had a shot to win, and of course, the Chiefs come out on top. We do have a game coming up tomorrow night. Me and Bo kind of talked about it off screen. Baltimore is giving Cincinnati 6. I if I'm not mistaken, they're playing in Baltimore. If I'm not mistaken, I could be because I don't have it in front of me right now. Yeah. Baltimore, to me, has been a team where the defense is the problem right now. Their offense is clicking on all cylinders. Cincinnati, it looks like Joe Burrows, even though it was against the Raiders, looks like he's starting to get it together. The hand's not bothering him, or the wrist is not bothering him. He threw for 5 touchdown passes. And I think it's a question of who scores more in this game. I think Baltimore will get their points. I think Cincinnati will get their points. I think Cincinnati has enough with those wide receivers to beat Baltimore. Bo disagrees with me there. I think he likes Baltimore. What do you think, James?
I'm going to disagree with you too. Man, come on. Look, what? I think Joe Burrow has enough to be offensive, an offensive weapon. I mean, he's the quarterback. He's throwing like 5 touchdowns last game. But what did Baltimore do against that Orange Crush last week? Man, I mean that defense was lighting it up against everybody, but they got crushed like a can against against that offense with Lamar Jackson. You got another weapon in Deontay Johnson. So now they just have a few more receivers. I mean, they look and don't forget the man that's crushing it with the running game, Derrick Henry. Cincinnati doesn't have a defense to stop that. So you got to be able to stop the run. You got to be able to stop a running quarterback. I mean, I just don't see Cincinnati having enough. And then I think it may come down to who turns the ball over. Because, I mean, both these teams are high
According to you, the Baltimore is going to railroad these guys. I mean, what do you mean turnovers? Who cares? You're saying Baltimore is going to win this rather easily. Keith, let me help me straighten James out here a little bit. Did Baltimore play Bo Nix last week? Did he play Bo Nix? Was that the quarterback?
You just stole my thunder. I didn't see Burrow or Chase on the field last week. I'm pretty sure. Bo Nix, who I know Mac loved coming out of the draft, said he was going to be an instant superstar.
Exactly.
I just had to get that in, Mac. Sorry, but
thank you.
Bo Nix is not Joe Burrow, and I just think Cincinnati. That's a lot of points. I think there'll be a lot of points scored in this game. I'll probably take the over. If I'm going to bet this game, it's going to be the over probably. You look, Baltimore's got a pretty good team. Their defense is not what it was maybe any time in the last decade. This is not a great defense. They've already given up, 219, 220 points, something. That's not a good Denver offense they played last week. Denver's got a good defense, not a good offense. So I think Cincinnati, and I think Cincinnati's getting ready to kind of hit that second gear, which they better do, actually.
That's what I was looking for. Is Higgins playing? That's what I was looking for.
And it's a good point. That's a great point. If he plays to me, I'd like Cincinnati to win the game, quite frankly. But I think they're no matter what.
Well, I mean, the addition of Tre'Davious White as a corner for Baltimore is also helpful. I mean, so they're adding some guys to a defense that, to your point, isn't as good as it's been. But the Bengals don't play defense at all. So, I mean, like, Baltimore's gonna score. So, I mean, and if you think that the Bengals are going to score every time they touch the ball, you're out of your mind. So, like, will it be the over? Probably. Will Baltimore score more? Most likely.
The only bright spot on the Bengals defense is Trey Hendrickson, but he's got to get to Lamar Jackson. He's got to get to Derrick Henry, and I just don't see that happening, man. I don't see that.
Bo, do you think the Chiefs' defense is better than Baltimore's?
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of winning in spite of their offense. Their offense hasn't really been great, but the defense has been fantastic.
So Burrow's put up 4 touchdowns against the Chiefs defense.
I didn't say the Bengals wouldn't score. I said they need to come up with one stop. It's a track meet.
But Mac, you're missing your point though. The Kansas City's undefeated still. Even though he put those touchdowns up, they're still undefeated. They still lost the game.
Right. I know that. I understand that. But I'm just saying we're talking about Burrows versus defenses right now. I just think Chiefs defense is better than Baltimore. So anyway,
Burrows lighten it up.
So let's get our picks in. I guess let's get our picks in, because this is when we're going to find out who really means what they say. I'm taking Baltimore -6. What do you think, Keith?
You're taking Baltimore -6 after all that?
I mean, sorry. Sorry. It's
I was
written down
thinking,
on my paper that way. I lost my mind for a second.
This is why I show up at 1/4 most of the time, Mac. Jeez. I will take the Bengals plus the 6 myself.
All right. Okay. That's what I meant. Good. Go ahead. What do you think there, James?
Yeah, I'm going to take Baltimore -6.5. I think it's 6.5.
Is it 6.5? Even better.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And Bo?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Baltimore to cover. Like I'm kind of on the fence. That half is kind of that killer.
Yeah, but it's a touchdown. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I have Baltimore to win and to win outright and to cover.
All right. Okay, we got you. So we get to the Bears now, one of my favorite teams to talk about now in the NFL.
Another quarterback you had a lot to say about before the year, by the way.
Hey, listen, don't be talking about your picks at quarterback when you got Levis as your top quarterback of all time, Hall of Famer when he came in. So
he's got to get healthy. He's got to get healthy.
Yes, he does, in the brain as well as physically. So for the second,
he said he'd be the best quarterback of all time, but
I thought you said Hall of Famer.
I said of that draft class. That's so
right.
That's much better right now. I agree.
No, it's not. So the second Bears player ends up going off the field when a play is going on, similar to Tyreek, who was, he was taunting the crowd or whatever he was doing there when the play was going on. So DJ Moore walks off the field to the sidelines to the bench while the play is going on. I was ready to nail him. I was ready to give it to him real good. He did twist his ankle or something. So I went back and watched the video again, and he was kind of hobbling. Still, the play is live.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams is escaping, running back and forth, getting away from the rush. He's on the sideline. Caleb Williams could have turned up and ran the ball while running all the way back to the right sideline, could have thrown the ball, and DJ Moore could have at least gotten away because his ankle wasn't going to be any better no matter what, gotten away of somebody, and maybe that play would have turned into something else for Chicago. But for the second week in a row, guys, it looks like the Bears don't play to the whistle, Keith. And I mean, I don't know if it's a coaching problem or it's a player problem. I don't know. But there is a problem there in Chicago.
I will say, and I'm trying to watch this DJ Moore play again because I thought the play was about over when he stepped out of bounds myself, but I can't see where the quarterback is on this shot. So
no, he was still scrambling.
Well, I saw it quickly the other day when I was traveling, and I probably saw something I didn't think I saw. But overall, I do think there's a coaching problem here because the week before with that Hail Mary, that stuff can't happen. You can't have your guys out there out of control, taunting the crowd, and then play and then throw up a stinker of a Hail Mary covers like they did on that next play. And that's a coaching issue to me. And that's could come back to haunt this team. This team got off to a pretty good start. They're not playing great football right now. And I think Eberflus could be the fall guy here if this continues, this type of undisciplined play. More last week than this week. Moore's hurt. I get it. Play to the whistle, but last week's was a little more egregious to me than this one.
What? Eberflus isn't your guy?
He's not my guy. He's had a makeover. He looks much better. He looks more like an NFL coach. But anyway, no.
So Robert says it sounds like a business decision was. Listen, Robert, just pay him. Just sign him to a contract in the off season. Sign him to a big contract. I mean, the business decision was made earlier this season. I mean, you got it. I mean, I don't care. You see, and I'm not trying to say CeeDee Lamb is my hero or anything, but CeeDee Lamb's playing with a hurt shoulder. He's ready to go out there and play again. They had to hold him off the field. So, I don't want to hear that he sprained his ankle. That doesn't do it for me. So, and Bo, as we're talking about DJ Moore and, of course, the Hail Mary pass, they said, we're demoting you. You're not playing next week. And he decides, well, and I'm not going to practice. And,
it's coaching top to bottom. Like there's so much wrong with this team. For shows like ours, it's fantastic. Just let the dumpster burn. But I mean, Eberflus, you knew he was a dead man walking anyway. At the end of last season, they fired his entire staff, and he didn't have control over the guys that came in. The GM did, which means odds are you're on your way out the door unless you happen to win a lot, right? So the thing that I find probably the most interesting about this is, yes, this is a coaching issue. You have guys giving up on plays. It's a bad look all around. But there's a Bears systemic problem that's also happening, because if you look at the last two quarterbacks, they've done the exact same thing. They bring in a guy, they fire that coach, they bring in a next one, they stunt the growth of their guys 2 years in a row. They did it at Fields, they're doing it to Caleb. I'm mind blanking the quarterback just before him. They did it to him as well. So it was, what's that?
Trubisky.
Yes. Yeah. So in all three of those scenarios, they had a guy that they were planning on firing. They let him hang out for an extra year. They draft a guy, they fire the coach, and then a whole new system comes in again. And I mean, they're just in the process of ruining quarterbacks like that. That's the thing they excel at. So to see players not buy in, not a huge shock. You already know this coach is out the door.
Yeah, and James, they, the locker room is not happy with Tyreek right now. When he went in the locker room and he quit the practice, they're pissed. And as Bo says, this is danger of losing the locker room. Now, my co-host in the morning, Jack Hurst, said it's the owner's fault. The owner should be able to let the coach know that he can take action against players. And me as a coach, I'm not waiting for the owner to give me permission to do anything. You pick me to coach the team, right, James?
Yeah, if I'm the coach, I'm the leader of men. I mean, 52, 53 men in the locker room. You got to set the precedence that you can't lose the guys who are actually there. They're like, guys like linemen, quarterback, all these groups. There's leaders in there. So they need to be able to look at you and say, you're going to hold this guy accountable. Or even at the level, I mean, somebody needs to be a leader of the DB's coach or something like, and pull this guy to the side, say, what are you doing? Just give him the business. I mean, let him know, like, hey, there's consequences that come with these types of actions. I mean, for one, you're a grown man. You're supposed to be a professional. You're supposed to be able to come in and do your job and take it like a man. If you've been demoted, you take your demotion as a man and just come to practice, show you want to play, show you want to make up for what you did, and come back and be better. But I mean, that's that comes from the levels up, the coaching level. I mean, Eberflus he can't be the guy, and I don't think he's enthused about, like you said, being on thin ice there and not wanting to be. He's probably on his way out, because I see the situation similar in New Orleans. I mean, with Dennis Allen, I saw his face every game throughout those losses, man, and he just wasn't there. He wasn't there. And I even heard one of the pundits down there said he talked to an analyst, talked to one of the players in the room, said, has Dennis Allen lost the locker room? And they said, kept themselves anonymous. They said he been lost the locker room. It's been going for a while now.
Yeah,
don't worry, we'll get to your Saints head coach.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Yes. So yeah, but in regards to Chicago, it's just not a good. It's a toxic situation there.
Keith, we're missing one big thing here, right? The Hard Knocks curse. It's alive. It's real. I'm telling you. Who was on the Hard Knocks last year? New York Jets. What happened to Roy Rogers there? He fell off his horse, sprained his ankle or his leg or whatever. And then the Giants are on Hard Knocks earlier, and here's the Bears on Hard Knocks too. I think it takes away from the team. Throughout history, there's got coaches fired, there's got teams fallen from grace. I mean, I know you're not supposed to believe in these things, but if I'm a head coach, I'm fighting tooth and nail not to get on there. I might get fired. I'm not going on the Hard Knocks.
Man, imagine if you paired that with being on the cover of Madden, like the whole team lights on fire.
You might as go with.
I'm not a big believer in jinxes and such, so I think it's Just silly life coincidences. That's all. And
And
by
in
the
a
way-
row.
by the
Just
way,
two
as an
games.
organization, you don't have a lot of options. You can either make the playoffs, fire your coach, because I believe that's the only way you cannot say I'm not going is you haven't been in the playoffs the last 2 seasons, or you have a brand new head coach. That's about the only reasons you can say no to being on Hard Knocks. Excuse me.
Keith,
That's it.
This has been going back since the Ravens won the Super Bowl and then
Because it's
lost.
bad teams. It's because it's bad teams that are on it.
Exactly.
Ah.
No, like Rob is right in the
Thank you.
comments.
Thank you, Robert. Because of what I just said, only bad teams are going on Hard Knocks. That's it.
I mean, even when Detroit went on it, it was before they were good. It was the year leading into when they finally became
Exactly.
decent, right? And they were bad the first half of that year. They went on a tear at the end.
Listen, I believe in the Ruth curse, and that they had to do a lot of things to get rid of that Ruth curse. I mean, they were doing like tribal things and burying Ruth gloves, and they were going crazy over there. And they finally got rid of it. And I think this is what has to happen. I think they have to like bury some kind of equipment or something. The Bears right now to get out of that. The Giants is too late.
Bury the team, and it'll be better off. Burying other stuff.
I didn't realize I was supposed to bring the tinfoil hat today.
Yes. I didn't send you the memo. I forgot. Speaking of coaches getting fired, I know James wanted to talk about this, and James, I'm going to stand up for your ex-head coach. I'm going to stand up. I really am. Listen. The way I look at the New Orleans Saints, no coach losing all those players to injuries, losing all their defensive players almost. Losing a lot of their offensive players, linemen, quarterback. No coach could have been successful there.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great part of it, but I mean, it's just bad luck for his 3rd season. Let's go back to the 9-8 season. They won the last 5 of the last 6 games against sub 500 teams. Before that, they were garbage. The year before that, they were pretty bad. They won like 7 games. They were garbage. Before he got hired as the defensive coordinator, he coached the Oakland Raiders. This total record was 24 and 52. So I can't defend that. I mean, you got bad luck, but bad luck at the wrong time at the end of your run, man. It was his time. And he lost the locker room. They just didn't. He's a great. Some people are really great at being coordinators, but not good at coaches, man. I mean, you can look at Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan was an excellent defensive coordinator, but man, he had a great team in the Philadelphia Eagles, and he couldn't do nothing with that.
He lost his team a long time ago, didn't he, James? I mean, didn't they quit? I'm trying to remember. Didn't they quit against the Falcons? Or was it last year? It was funny this season. There was a comment by Richard Sherman against the Chiefs, I believe, and I think it was the Chiefs, and he said, "Are his players?" He said, "His players quit." He said, "Are they trying to get him fired?" And I was like, possibly,
I mean,
yeah.
He should have been fired last year.
I agree with Bo. Yeah.
I mean, there were 2 coaches that didn't get fired last year that I thought 100% punched their ticket to get out of town, and it was Allen and Eberflus. The fact that they remained and guys like Vrabel got fired was wild.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just
It is wild, actually.
like it doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, the fact that he got fired, just about everybody I've talked to about this, they're like, yeah, it's about time. I mean, and to your point, he wasn't good in Oakland either. So it's not like he's had a history where he was really awesome in a location. Like, he's had 2 bites at the apple, was terrible twice. He's probably done as a head coach. Like, very rarely do you get a 3rd shot.
I mean, there's some. I'm sorry, Mac. There's some people that are really lucky, like Jeff. Was it Jeff for the Tampa? Not Tampa, but for the Titans. It was a long time ago when he coached. I forgot the guy's name. Jeff
Fisher.
something.
Jeff
Fisher and Marvin Lewis are some of the luckiest people I've ever seen to get those long runs. but it just doesn't work like that in most places.
At least Fisher got to a Super Bowl. I mean, Marvin Lewis couldn't even win a playoff game.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Fisher was at least, successful, and he was super creative. Like even in years that he wasn't good, he would find ways to burn you that would just make you mad. Especially like for me as a Hawks fan, when he was down with the Rams, probably one of the most frustrating special teams plays I watched, and of course he was a fantastic special teams coach, right? Was this misdirection on a kickoff where their entire team faked to a side, and our kickoff crew bit all the way on it. It went to the opposite side, and that dude just had a free run straight down the sideline. And the whole time I'm just like, damn it. The whole time you're just like, but Jeff Fisher was good for that a couple times a game.
Well, I think it's because a lot of the owners and GMs want yes men in there. And I don't think Vrabel's a yes man. I think there's a lot of coaches that don't get jobs because they're not yes men. Let's get to the comments here real quick. Thank you for the weather update, Sonia. I know it's dark. It's dark probably. Yeah, it's dark on the East Coast right now. So Danny Fuller is jabbing at Keith again, saying that Patriots are garbage. Yeah.
Wow,
well,
we weren't even talking about the Patriots.
I know. Well, we will eventually. We definitely will. Let's see. So, sorry we got your coach fired, J Train. I don't think James is really bad about it.
Yeah, right.
All right, there we go. So Rick Sherlock and Danny Fuller are talking to each other, keeping each other busy. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, look, I of course the Saints was gonna. He was going to get fired, especially after a 2-7 record. Quinn for the Redskins also. He lost in Atlanta the Super Bowl too, and he got another job. So it's possible that he will get another chance. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens out there.
So where I disagree with that is this is Quinn's second shot right now. And he had a coordinator position in between also, but this is his second shot. For Allen to get another shot, it'll be his third. And he's had no success. At least Quinn, you can look back and be like, he had a few good years in Atlanta. They get to a Super Bowl. Obviously, they fail miraculously, but he had good seasons there. When you look at Dennis Allen, you're like, his best season was just over 500. That's not a glaring endorsement. That's I think just about anybody could make that work.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. No, Sonia, we're good. You can pay attention to what you do and drive and get home safe. All right, and we'll make it through this show. I don't know about Allen being the next coordinator for the Bills. I think the Bills are doing pretty good right now. So
actually, when I was talking about them, Allen losing the team, Rick had the game I was talking about. I had it totally wrong. They didn't quit. They were way ahead in the game, and he told them kneel on the ball, and they ran it in for a touchdown. That's what
against Atlanta, against Atlanta, yeah.
And I got to defend myself because Danny says I think that's a run up. The score is okay. I do think run up the score is okay. I don't think disobeying your coach's orders is okay. That I don't think is okay.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. So,
but that's the play. That's the play I couldn't think of. I think that was last year.
Yeah, I'm fine with running up the score. I always find it funny when people are mad about it. Like, if you don't want them to run up the score, stop them.
Yeah, get better. I mean,
but if you're directly disobeying orders like that's not great.
100% different.
Right.
Yes. Well, let me ask you a question. I've seen this 100 times. It's the last play of the game. You're on the 2-yard line. Do you really got to run it in for a touchdown? Do you really got to do that?
No, that was a player's disobeying.
Well, even if he didn't, as a coach, do you got to do that? I mean, you're probably going to play these guys again. I don't know. I agree with the premise. I agree that the defense, if they're not playing well, you shouldn't stop doing what you're doing.
So that was for like a bonus or something, though, right? Like it was his first touchdown that he's had in like a year and a half, and it helped him get a bonus
something like that. Yeah, but even so,
I
might
want
to disobey an order if it's an extra like $500K to me. I might take the heat in the after game presser and film room. Be like, you shouldn't have done that. Be like, well, my bank account disagrees.
No, I'm going to get in trouble here. Women do not listen. They say men don't listen. Women don't listen. I told Sonia, go home, get home, get home safe. We're fine. But of course, Sonia got
Hi.
yes, hi, Sonia. How you doing?
At least I'm leaving my camera off for safety purposes, but I did not know. I missed that comment. I'm so sorry, Mac. I must have been getting my camera together to log in. So, yeah, I just couldn't miss the fun. I mean, even though you guys can't see me, I can see you, and I just couldn't miss this opportunity. I mean, we won. We beat the Saints. I can't miss this show.
Totally right.
Keep her off the show.
That's the only reason why she came on. I thought she missed us, like she said. That's not why. She came on to talk about the Panthers winning their second and probably the only game for the rest of the year.
Oh wow. Well, I think we're tied with the Giants right now. But anyway, how you guys doing? Let's talk about some real games, other than the ones that we just won.
No, we're not changing. You're not Jack Hirsch. We're not changing the format because you came on. We're going to continue going forward. And we're going to talk about that Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott right now. So, Dak Prescott, he's got a bad calf, which could lead, as you know, to probably an ACL. That's what happened pretty much with Aaron Rodgers. When it rains, it pours in Dallas, right? I know they got Cooper Rush to back him up, but they did get a new receiver. They got one of the better receivers in the league that has one catch for like 1 yard, and with Carolina, as a matter of fact. And they got him, so they're ready to go. So, what do you guys think? I think Dallas is done. I think they've been done since pretty much since Parsons and Leonard got hurt. It's over. I mean, I can't see Dallas getting back in this. What do you think, Sonia?
Oh, thanks for letting me go first. So we gifted them a player. We gift everyone in the league for some reason, just all the time. But Dallas is done. Honestly, when I first heard that Dak was out, I was like, how did he even get hurt? Like, is he even playing? And then someone said that CeeDee Lamb also left the game. And I'm like, at this point, guys, is this mental? I mean, I know that, oh, thanks, Excalibur Force. Wow. I just feel like, yeah, he's got a leg strain now, but is it really that serious enough for you to say it leads to, ACL? Or is this one of those things, it's halfway through the season. We're not them boys. Let's go ahead and just, be proactive and go ahead and just take the bench on this one. They might start winning, honestly, now, Mac.
I doubt it. I doubt it. They got too many holes. Keith, I mean, their defensive line is no good. Their defensive backfield is hurting. They can't run the ball. They don't have any running back that can run the ball. And now that Dak Prescott's gone, there's another running threat that they had that's gone. I mean, I don't see Dallas even getting close.
We talk a lot about running backs and whether you need to run the ball or not. Obviously, they're the exhibit A that you have to be able to at least run the ball with some modicum of success to be able to throw the football and compete. And you need to play some defense, and they don't do either one of those things. And I saw some comments today, but that one of I can't remember what opponent it was says that Dak is quitting on his team. I don't think that's
exactly.
I don't think that's the case. I think Dak is a competitor. You can say what you want about him, but I don't think he's quitting on this team. And this team, they're not out of it. They're 3-5. They're like 3 games out of the last playoff spot. 20 teams get in the freaking playoffs, for crying out loud. I wouldn't give up at 3-5. But this team doesn't look like they're going to dig out of this anytime soon. But I think if Dak can play, he'll play. And yes, calf injuries do often lead to torn Achilles. It happened to Kevin Durant. It happened to Aaron Rodgers.
Dak was put on IR this morning.
Was he put on IR?
Yes.
Well, I guess he won't play then.
Yeah,
He's definitely not playing.
Can I address that comment real quick, Mac?
Which one?
I didn't do that deliberately, Steve-O. Thank you so much for following up on that. I've been playing around with YouTube a couple of days ago because someone else said that. I don't know what happened. So hopefully it works now. I don't have this stream shared tonight, but I will be on live at 9. Little promo for myself. So feel free to hop on then and see if you can comment. Thanks so much, Steve-O. Thanks, Mac.
You're welcome. Let's see. So Rick Sherlock, laugh out loud. Mac is all yours. Let's see. Cooper Rush, 5-0, totally overrated. Jack, that is. Okay, thank you for straightening that out. Great feat for Rush. I don't know what he's talking about. James has someone with smarts now in Sonia. Welcome, Sonia. What are you talking about?
Thank you, Danny.
Is that a rank on James? Is that are we ranking on James or are you ranking on us? Which one are you ranking on?
I don't know,
sure.
but I think this is a continuation of the sugar daddy comments before the
Yes,
show.
it might be. And for all you
okay.
folks out there, yes, good. Sonia is looking for a sugar daddy to help pay her.
It's come up 2 shows in a row now, so there's got to be
Yeah.
something to it.
There's something to it. Where there's smoke, there's fire, as they say.
That's right.
We're losing the Department of Education, so I need some help with law school tuition.
There you go. All right. So Danny does love James. So we'll let James talk about this. Jason Kelsey apologizes for breaking the student's phone outside Penn State Stadium as he called his brother Travis a homophobic slur.
Wow.
Do you think he did this because he really feels bad, or he's a little worried about maybe a lawsuit coming his way and to ESPN's way?
I think the latter. It's the latter. I really, just judging off what I saw in that video. I mean, and what I understand. I mean, I understand freedom of speech, but there's consequences that come with freedom of speech. There's consequences that come with every action that we do, whether it's good or bad. You just got to take responsibility, man. And you know, I'm not saying that you beat up a person, that you beat somebody. He didn't hit him, but man, come on, you just can't go around talking to people crazy. And there are a lot of people that are in the defense of Jason Kelsey, and I am one of them. I mean, obviously you don't hit the guy, but then he put his hands on him after he grabbed the phone. I mean, he pushed him while he was down. I mean, so, and then he realized once he stood up, like, so, okay, maybe he's just a little bit too big for me to be pushing on. So, I mean, it's just, I think people have courage. I mean, it's not liquid courage, it's computer courage. These people are on the internet, they're internet gangsters. And then when they get in front of somebody, they get that same courage and then realize you probably shouldn't say some things to people you never know what might happen. I agree that, I mean, I think that he just didn't, he apologized only because of the after effects of it. And understand, he probably talked to his public relations person and said, you just can't do that. So, you know, that's the only reason.
I mean,
Yeah, 100%, by the way. And James's comment about freedom of speech, I said this about some other situation. I can't remember what it was. People have the right to say whatever they want, pretty much. But again, you have to be willing to accept whatever comes back your way. And most people are not. And these guys might have been there trying to prompt a confrontation for all we know, so that they could sue him for assault or whatever else. So this is the world we live in today, and it's really sad commentary. We don't have the social contact we should have with each other to treat each other like human beings, right? We're flipping off people in traffic. We call people racial epithets at ball games and spit at them and throw food at them. And you don't get the right to do whatever you want just because you paid for a ticket to get into a ball game or whatever it might be. And we've lost sight of all of that.
Preach, Reverend. Preach, Reverend. It's Reverend Keith Angle with his sermon.
Pass the collection plate.
Yeah, the keyboard warriors, you know, it's obvious they've never been punched before, because
right.
to come out and go at people like that. I mean, it's a good thing there's phones now that have cameras on them, because before you used to get punched in the face like that. That's how that got remedied. And so, yeah, this seemed more like they were setting him up, right? Because they had it from different views. And I mean, this seems like a setup for sure, but, you know, he's coming out with an apology because he has to, right? He's being paid by ESPN. ESPN doesn't want blowback from that. Now, he didn't put his hands on the guy. He just broke his phone. So he's obviously going to get sued for a phone, right? Like, he's going to have to buy him a new phone. But ESPN is what's dictating him coming out and being like, yeah, I'm sorry, I feel bad. It's like, no, he doesn't. I wouldn't either.
No.
How about that guy?
Yeah, he don't want another Michael Irvin situation, because we saw that up close and personal.
Yeah. It was in my defense. I thought it was a kid, like a 12, 13-year-old kid. I didn't know it was a student. I didn't know it was an 18, 19-year-old student. And that's why in the beginning I said, hey, listen, you don't put your hands on a kid. Well, it wasn't a kid. It was a student at that university, and you get what you ask for.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know who started the phrase, but I do know yesterday I heard the Philadelphia mayor say it before the election: "F around and find out." And these kids sometimes that's what they need to do because they want to be grown. They forget that there's a date on the calendar that makes them younger than what we are, and they have no respect. So, sometimes you just got to F around and find out. And I don't mean fabulous either.
There you go. Brady should lose his job. That was the next topic. Danny has my format. I sent it to him so he could move the show along. Danny, thank you.
Oh, okay. He's full of himself. Mr. Fuller is full of himself.
Yes, he is. Danny Fuller. Yes. There you go. So Tom Brady did not get punished for calling out an official on a play, and really he didn't call it the official. He said it really had nothing to do. The contact is a little, I guess he flagged him. He didn't think he should be flagged for it. He thought it was a good football play. So did I. But being an owner, you're not supposed to say anything about other owners, GMs, referees, and of course he has other restrictions against him where he can't go visit other stadiums and look around and do whatever. But listen, according to the NFL, and I guess this comes from the commissioner's office, they're not going to fine Brady or chastise him in any way because he didn't call into the integrity of the official or integrity of the crew. I mean, to me, that's splitting hairs a little bit, James. I mean, listen, Brady to me, and Keith, I'm sorry, should choose one or the other. He's getting paid.
Nice to me.
Very much, he's getting paid a lot to be an announcer. I know $365 million, whatever the hell the price is, and now he wants to be owner too. You can't have it both ways. Either quit one job or quit the other.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have your cake and eat it too? I like cake, man. I like looking at it. I like eating it, man. All kind of cake, man. So why not $365 million to do what you love, talk about football. I mean, you stay around the game. And also, I think he just should be fined. I mean, I think he's still new to what he's doing, and he stinks. I'm pretty sure he doesn't think so. He's getting better. I think he's getting better at what he does. And Brady, if he's part owner, I mean, what is he? 10%?
10%.
Yeah, I mean, 10%. Man, what say does he really have as a 10% owner? And I think if he did something wrong, he should be fined for it, and we should move on. But I think he should be able to do both.
He didn't say anything egregious is the thing. Like, he didn't go after the officiating. He just didn't like the call. There's nothing wrong with that. So for them to not go after him, I didn't mind because he didn't say anything derogatory or, like Max said, calling into question integrity of the game or anything like that. It was just a call that he didn't particularly like.
But I agree with Mac that there may be some conflict of interest there because he's not just a guy calling the game. He's a part owner. Yeah. So he has to have some sort of consequence there, but they chose not to.
Yeah, I find myself agreeing with Mac here. He should not do both. They've already given him a whole list of things he can't do since he became an owner. Basically, it's really, you can't talk about the games because something on that list will come up every time. He can't sit in the meetings, the pre-game meetings that the announcers always sit in. He's not allowed to do any of that. He can't get behind the scenes like a lot of the announcers do. Again, he should make a choice here. If he wants to get the $375 million, fine, stay closer to the game, or go out there to Vegas, get your hair cut like Mr. Davis, and have some fun.
Yeah, he needs to definitely pick one. The route he went is the money route. He's missing all the fun because, I mean, all he's doing is basically all these rules and regulations. Like, I would do the 1 year or whatever it is to get the money and then go do something else. Because anybody would have him behind the scenes and stuff. I mean, he's Tom freaking Brady,
By the way, after following Tom Brady as many years as I have, that's the only haircut Tom Brady has not had during the season is the Mark Davis haircut. He's had every other one.
I mean, no one has had the Mark Davis haircut.
You talking about like with the bowl on his head or something?
Yeah, I don't know something like that.
I
He's
feel like
only
A billionaire, you can't afford a real haircut. Listen,
It's
I
not-
shouldn't be talking about people in their heads. I get it, but
It's not even a real bowl, though. It's like an oval. I don't know what the hell that is.
No,
No, in
no.
the 80s, they really did use like a bowl that you eat cereal out of.
I have pictures of myself from the 70s as a little kid with, yes, I had that haircut myself.
Oh, my goodness.
Please.
But there was
show
hair on his
pictures,
head at one
Keith.
point. There was
Well,
hair.
if you can bring that in one show, we would love that.
Yeah.
I have a lot of those pictures. My wife found them for my mom's memorial, and I had a lot of those pictures. I was embarrassed at her celebration of life. I can tell you, I wanted to take them.
Oh,
It
that's awesome.
didn't look like Davis though. Like Mark
That's
Davis
awesome.
has the bowl cut, but he does it in the dark.
Yeah.
One quick question.
Mac, hold on, Mac. Tell Danny Fuller that Baker drew first blood against Brady. He deserved everything he got.
Does he listen to me better than you? You just told him that. Why you want me? All right. James told me to tell you one quick question, one quick thing before we push on to the trade deadline, because I do want to
Danny, poor Danny.
So we talked about Davis. Davis does not have any children to leave the team to. Brady has 10% of the team. Do you think it's possible that he leaves Tom Brady the team when he passes?
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh out loud, but I had
This is why he chose that team. Wow.
I mean,
no, it's not possible.
He's going to leave it to the Humane Society.
well, I mean, the way they're playing,
They should put him out of their misery. If he does that, they'll just put him
Right.
down.
Put him down.
I know I still want to get a trade deadline, but can you imagine what it feels like to be a real Raider fan, not a Las Vegas Raider fan, but a real Raider fan, getting the team taken away from you. You follow them to Las Vegas, and they still stink. I mean, I would be out of my mind.
This is the poster child franchise. Why interim coaches are so dangerous, because they have a little run at the end of a season, the players get behind them, and it's hard to let them go, and they're not the right choice, and you're stuck with them. And they're stuck with Antonio Pierce, who's in over his head. Sorry.
Oh, I hate I
100%.
endorsed him last year. Jack was right.
Can you really hate on him?
I don't hate on him. He just went over his head. I mean,
Well, is he though? Like they get
I
rid of
think
his receiver. He has no quarterback. Like, like how much success did you want him to have?
Well,
in a
wait a
division
minute.
everyone else is better?
Wait a minute. That same
he didn't
receiver
have a
they got
quarterback last
rid
year
of,
either.
the wide receiver they got rid of wanted out when he endorsed Pierce the year before. He wanted to leave. He said, "Get me the hell out of here." It wasn't like the Raiders wanted him to go, but he
No,
endorsed.
of course.
He endorsed Antonio Pierce the year before, and this year he said, "Nah, I want out."
Of
Yeah.
course, because they didn't get him a quarterback. They went and got Minshew.
No, I mean he
But
was
again,
cool with O'Connell. He was
his
cool with
stats-
O'Connell. Go ahead.
His stats are dependent on another human. It's not like a running back where you hand him the ball and he gets to kind of do his thing. He needs a guy that can get him the ball down the field. O'Connell was wildly inconsistent. Minshew also wildly inconsistent. So
Hey,
it's
listen.
tough to get your money because NFL contracts are not fully guaranteed. There's a lot of incentives, even in elite guys.
Listen, I watched the end of that year, and I watched him. I watched the wide receivers, the Diva documentary there. Adams is not a good person. Trust me, he's not. If you get a chance, watch wide receiver. He's not a good person, and he was all in with Antonio Pierce. He
I
was
mean-
all in on those scams, and
Why he stopped the job.
O'Connell,
They
He
did
liked
Jimmy G
O'Connell.
dirty.
he did.
They
He
did Jimmy
did.
G so dirty in that.
They did. They really did. They really did. So let's get to the trade deadline. Me and Bo talked about it a little bit before the show. I mean, he's been all over this trade deadline. So I want to get your guys' opinions on this. There was a few really big trades that were made. The Saints lost James, their Pro Bowl cornerback, to the Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, good for Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, the Saints they're heading south further than. We're already living 6 feet below sea level, so we're probably going to be like about 30 or 40 after we're done. But Marshawn Lattimore, I'll be honest with you, he's only played one full season since he's been there, and the latter years have been injury riddled. So I think the Saints, what they got for him was really good. I mean, I didn't think they were going to get that. They got a third, a fourth, and a sixth, and they traded a fifth with him to Washington. But it's good for both teams. I think a change of scenery is going to be good for him. Hopefully, he stays healthy, and I hope this helps Washington, and I hope the draft picks that we get helps us next year.
Yeah, it does make it's cool to see the Commanders players actually wanting to go play for the Commanders now. That a couple of years ago that wasn't that. DeJarius Smith, going to the Lions to give them another pass rusher to go along with. I don't even know who the other pass rusher is now.
Well, Hutchinson got hurt, so it was a big move to replace him. So
So I mean that was again the Lions improving a little bit more on defense. Not that they need to, but they sure went and scooped them up, and now they got more of a pass rush.
Matt, it was Marcus Davenport, but I think this is another guy from the Saints that they drafted number 15 overall that stayed hurt. He had a lot of potential, but he's there. He went from the Vikings to the Lions, but I think he's hurt as well.
I'm talking about the one that went to Cleveland to the Lions. I'm not talking about it.
No. I'm just saying you were wondering who they had on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. It was Marcus Davenport.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. So the other big one Bo mentioned in pregame here was Pittsburgh picking up a wide receiver, and I guess they got another pass rusher too, right, Bo?
Yeah. So this is that's your list of trades. But yeah, I mean, them picking up another edge rusher to be on the other side of TJ, and then of course getting another receiver, which they desperately needed. Obviously, those are huge pickups for a Steelers team that is far better than we thought they were going to
be. Yeah. So, and I don't know how big the jet receiver going to Pittsburgh is going to be. I mean, I guess he's going to be the new number 2 there, right? I would imagine. He did play pretty well for the Jets when they did throw the ball to him. I think that's going to help him out a lot. I think Green Bay, they lose a pass rusher or gain I know Green Bay, something happened with Green Bay too, as I was watching the Sports Huddle. But they're a little upset with Jordan Love. Let me bring that up to close the show off with, guys. Jordan Love is really the groin injury it's an injury that will affect you. I had one before. It affects you the whole season. I mean, until you get a chance to stop playing, it continually drives you a little nuts. So with him being quarterback, and of course Green Bay isn't the best place to play with weather with that groin injury. What do you think the Packers should do? Should they maybe rest them a little bit, or should they just say to hell with it? We're going to keep playing them until the season's over. What do you think?
I think they really can't sit him for any amount of time. He needs to play. They can't fall. This is a good division, number one. And number two, there's the NFC, I think, is there's a lot of good teams that they're going to have to battle for a wild card spot, assuming they aren't going to win the division. I don't think they can afford to sit him for any period of time. They have to hope he can play and play better than what he has been playing. It reminds me a lot of Matthew Stafford's days with the Lions right now. Jordan Love.
And then he could play. He could sit a couple of games though, because you don't want to not have him for the postseason push. Because if he plays all the way up to the point he can't play anymore, then you're going to get eliminated round 1 anyway.
Got to get there.
And I agree though. I mean, but I mean, Malik Willis has shown you that he can win. They can win with Malik Willis. Right. I mean, in short instances, I'm not saying he's the starter there. I'm not saying he's the end all be all. I mean, changing quarterbacks. We got a new franchise player, but you got a backup that's capable. And then he did show that when he was in Tennessee. But I mean, they showed that, hey, you pulled him there for a reason. And they won every game that he started. They won the games with him. And he shows another element to the game with his legs. So why not give the guy a break for 1 or 2 games to allow that groin to heal? Because it's not going to, like Sonia said, if it's bad anyway, then they're not going to win anyway with him in that situation.
Malik has a shot. Like if they gave him the start, right? Like they play the Bears. That's a very winnable game, even with Malik Willis. Then they go and play the Niners, who've been wildly inconsistent, still have a lot of injuries. Then they have the Dolphins. hasn't exactly been a juggernaut either. So it's not until December 5th that you go and play the Lions. Like you probably want Love back for that. But he could go in and be serviceable for a couple of weeks to get Jordan Love right so that you don't run the risk of losing him for the playoffs.
Okay, guys, I got to let Keith get out of here. We're at the top of the show anyway. Everyone have a great Wednesday. Thanks for joining us as you always do, and take care of yourself.